Hello, Flosstube. This is Becky, the South Texas Stitcher. I'm going to adjust you just a little bit here. There we go. And I want to welcome you to my Flosstube channel. This is a channel regarding cross stitch and a few other meanderings. Every once in a great blue moon, I'll have some crocheting, but I haven't crocheted in quite some time. It's not my thing to do, really, anymore. It used to be. Anyway, I'm very excited just to say hello, and if you're returning, thank you for watching again. If you're new, I hope you enjoy this. As I said, this is a channel regarding cross stitch. I do live in South Texas. I'm outside of San Antonio in Bexar County, and I always laugh because non-Texas people will call it Bexar because it's B-E-X-A-R, but it is Spanish. It's pronounced bear, or actually it's Bejar. But nobody calls it that hardly anymore. But anyway, let me put this aside and check off. As you can see, his little furs right here. He is going to watch and make sure we do everything correctly and correctly. This is probably not going to be that long. I don't have that much to show you, but I have 3 completed finishes. Woohoo! I have 3 FFOs. I'm going to show you in the order that I finished them. This is the first one. This is First Offering by Blackbird Designs. It was a free pattern in 2001 or 3. I forget. Anyway, I will link it below because you can still download it. Excuse me. You can still download it. As I said, it's called First Offering. Now, it does not fit behind the glass. It's a little bit too big, and I could not find a frame that had an opening that would show it because it's not like an 8x10 or a 5x7. It is 5x8. So all the frames were going to be either too big or too small. I watch Artist Designs, Amanda Mae McNaughton's, her floss tubes. Amanda Mae, I love watching her. She's so funny. She makes me smile. So if I'm having a bad day, I'll watch an Artist Design floss tube. And you find her by looking up Artist, A-R-D-I-T-H, Designs. She had a similar issue with not being able to find a frame. So what she did and what I did was I did this on mat board. Oh, excuse me. I laced it up on mat board. And then I put double-sided tape on the edges of the frame, and I don't know if you can see that, and then I stuck it to the frame on the outside. So there's still the glass in here. Let's see if I can show you. There's still the glass in here and everything, and I guess I could actually take the glass out because I really don't need it anymore. And this will show you how I finished this also. I laced a piece, and then there's the double-sided tape there and there because I wanted to make sure it stuck to the piece well. Of course, it doesn't like sticking to fabric. And then I just parted it on the frame. And that's all I did. And that made it stand up, attached it. And the fact that, I don't know if you can see that, the frame complements the floss. The floss is Green Tea Leaf by Gentle Arts. It's Gentle Arts Green Tea Leaf. This is Weeks Dye Works Kohl, K-O-H-L. And technically it was supposed to all be one color, but I was like, I don't want to do all one color. I want the little blackbird to stand out. He's a blackbird. So I did that. So I was pleased with the way it came out, and I'm going to put the glass back in it right now just because I don't want a piece of glass laying around and falling over and breaking. But that is First Offering by Blackbird Designs, and it was a free pattern. The next one I finished, I think I showed this on my last floss tube because it was a work in progress at the time with the cat hair. I finished Summer Jubilee by Blackbird Designs, and this is in their Souvenirs. Their Souvenirs, a summer book. And I love the little bird And I haven't decided if I want to stitch him or not yet. But otherwise, and this is an old pattern. It is from the 2003. Hang on, I can let you know. If you save your Just Cross Stitch patterns or your magazines like I do, and if I had known this, I would have looked through that first before I bought the whole book. But it's in the August 2003 copy of Just Cross Stitch magazine. And I'm pretty sure I have that copy. It's just in the bottom of a closet and I haven't looked. But there is that little bird on front. It has a whole bunch of patterns. There is the one I just did. Now, it said to put it on chalkboard fabric. And usually that is a very blackish gray or grayish black, whatever you would call it, fabric. When I was a girl, chalkboards were green. And I was commenting that to somebody at a cross stitch retreat I recently went to, and they all went, you know what? I was right. Chalkboards were green. Blackboards were black. So, because there was a difference. I guess until I was in 4th grade. I think 4th grade was the first time I ever had a black chalkboard. Until then, they were all green. And I don't know if they just changed over time or what. But yes, so that is Summer Jubilee by Blackbird Designs. And I did not use all of the called for colors. Namely because some of the colors, the dye lots changed so drastically from 2003 to now. They just did not look correctly anymore. And as it is, I can tell you this. If I had to do it over again, I would pick different colors. I don't know if you can see that, but there are 2 colors in that little vase. But they are so close together, it's hard to tell the difference. When you look at it in person, you can see it, but I'm pretty sure on the video it's not picking it up. But yes, I used most of the call for colors. I'd used the old blue paint. When I used the old blue paint, you could not see it. So I had to come back over it with Deep Sea. I think both were Weeks Dye Works, I think. So I had to come back over it to make that blue stand out because you could not see it. And then I changed the pinks because originally the pinks were even more, it was Wood Rose and Old Brick. Wood Rose and Old Brick are almost the same color nowadays, where if you look at the pattern, they're drastically different. So, and then on this, I just used the DMC equivalent because it was just going to be white letters and they were not going to have enough. There was going to be no variegation to it if I had paid for extra for the overdyed. So I decided not to do that. Then my third and my most exciting piece that I finished, because instead of just being a rectangle on a mat board, I finished, and I did not seal the top. Like this pattern called for you to seal the top. I did Happy Birthday America. And I got the kit. So, the kit came with the alphabet fabric, and it came with the Lady Dots Creates, and it came with the piece of fabric, which of course Chekhov had to lay on, so now it's got cat hair all over it. But there is Happy Birthday America. Now, as I said, you're supposed to, according to the instructions, they want you to glue this down and seal it permanently. I left the top off. And I will put something in there. And I'm going to put some felt, but I wanted to show you that I gathered it. And then after I gathered it, I laced it across to make sure it stayed down. And then I will cover that up with felt at a later time. And then there is Happy Birthday America. It also came, and this was a 2-inch little brown box that you get from like Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And it came with the lid, of course. The lid, you flip upside down on a little candlestick type dowel, and it makes a little kickstand. And that's what this is called. It's a cake. So that's why it's called Happy Birthday America. It's a little birthday cake for America. They wanted you to paint this red. I painted it antique copper because I thought the muted colors of this red just it did not need a red. It needed something different. So I painted it antique copper. And I think my husband and we both liked it a lot. In fact, I asked him, I said, should I seal it like they said and just let it go? And he said, oh no. He liked the idea of me being able to put something in it. So I will do so. So that was, as I said, it is Happy Birthday America by With Needle and Thread. Put that up closer. And then there's the picture. The words are this way, but the picture is this way. So that makes it a little difficult. And I have already had somebody ask me for this pattern, so I'll be passing this on. I'm thinking of passing this on, but I have to decide if I want this bird or not. I mean, every time I look at him, I go, oh, I want him. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to stitch him, though. So I could just cut him out and frame him, but I know I would not do that. I try not to damage patterns. And so those were my 3 finishes. As I said, I was so excited when I finished them. I finished them last night. And I was like, yes, finish. As I said, I went to a retreat recently. And so the only whip I have to show, because I obviously finished those, I picked up the Happy Birthday America pattern at an auction. So I've only had that pattern now for 2 weeks, so I did the whole thing in 2 weeks, which for me is amazing that I actually sat down and stitched. But got a thread. But and I stitched Summer Jubilee, and I was stitching Summer Jubilee when I found out that Barb Adams had passed away, and she was the designer for the Summer Jubilee piece. So, excuse me, my nose wants to itch. So, you know, it was one of those deals where you're thinking about it. I said, you know, this person did this in 2003. And it was like, why did I not, you know, start looking at her pattern so much earlier? Because actually, this year is the first time I've ever done Blackbird Design patterns. I did Lady Liberty, and then I did, of course, Summer Jubilee, and I did First Offering. So those are my 3, and I did all those this year. But so the other thing that I did while I was gone was I worked on my daughter's my granddaughter's Christmas stocking. And I don't have much more than this, so I could take it out of the hoop because I'm going to work on this later on. But I will show you the pattern, and it comes from this book, the Donna Cooler's 2nd edition stocking collection. And I thought he was, since it's a Santa Claus, I thought he was just fantastic. All this candy. So I am working on this section of ribbon right here, and I have technically done right to there. So I'm almost halfway done with the stocking. Actually, when I get all this done, I'll have less than half to go because this part's a lot less crazy than this. What's really nice about this stocking is when you finish each candy and you backstitch it, that candy's done. So if you do it, somebody was laughing at me, I said, I do it by the piece of candy. So when I'm working on it, when I finish a piece of candy, I'm like, woohoo, I'm done with that section. I don't have to go on. So as you can see, this leg has been completely backstitched. This leg has not. So when I do this backstitching of belonging here, that's done. And I mean, woohoo, that's done. And I know a lot of people don't think of it that way, but I like to do it with, as I said, one piece of candy at a time. The ribbon was not a piece of candy, so it didn't really count, but I am working on that. And I haven't picked up the other stockings that I started last May during Mania. I need to. And I thought about deciding that for the rest of the year, I may not do anything but stockings. But I've got 2 new patterns, possibly 3, because I saw a new one out today and I have to decide if I want to buy it or not. I've got a thread stuck in my zipper. I'll have to cut that out later on. That I want to start. I've got, as I said, 2 for sure, because I've already purchased it, and the floss. Which, of course, that doesn't mean anything because I've got so many whips with floss, it doesn't really matter. But these two are like, ooh, start me, start me. So I showed you the one last time. It was the Ink Circles Garden Stars. It's all green, all different greens. This one I have been looking at off and on online for a long time. And I've only ever seen the pattern once before. And at the time I went, no, I don't need to buy that. Well, I was at the Tinsmith's Wife in Comfort, Texas, and looking through her odds and ends. I had taken some other ladies up there, and we were picking up orders for the retreat, and we were also looking around just for ourselves also at the same time. I personally did not need to buy anything else. I was just the driver. But of course, I'm at the needlework store. I must do something. So I bought Rosewood Manor's Cornwall Cottage Sampler. I think that's fantastic. I love the basket. I love the flowers. I love the border. I'm not so keen on the alphabet because I don't like alphabets. But this right here, I like this little box here because that's where you put your name. And what I like is this sampler is not a schoolgirl sample where it's going to have somebody's name from 18 something or like that. I don't want to do those. I want my name on samplers. And so I had someone complain to me once that I shouldn't do that, that was, you know, somebody else's sampler. And it's like, fine. So I just don't do them. But I'm going to do it on 40 count. This is antique white, 40 count linen. It was so funny. I mean, this calls for white. I mean, when you look at that, I can't see putting, no other color in my mind would look as good as if you just plain old white. So when I was looking for white linen, I couldn't find any white linen. Everything is over dyed now, or everything's in a color. And I had to go and ask her, I said, did you just have white linen anymore? And she goes, oh yeah. And she showed it to me, and so I was able to get some. But I was like, oh my gosh, everything is colored now. Everything's over dyed. And sometimes you just need white. I do have the floss. I did buy that while I was there, which I probably shouldn't have. If I hadn't bought if I just bought the pattern and said, I got the pattern, it's mine, I can do it when I want. But I went ahead and bought the floss. So these are the colors that's in it. And I think those colors are going to be beautiful. The red is cayenne. I was going to say cranberry, but I knew that wasn't right. So it's all these greens. And there's one in here called Pamlico. It's this one here. I had never heard of a Pamlico. And I had to order it. And I was able to get it from Hobby House Needleworks. And there is their information. Because from what I could tell, it was out of stock all over the place. So they had it and I was able to order it, so I now have all the colors. So no, I don't have an excuse not to start. So I have Garden Stars all kitted up. I have Country Cottage all kitted up. Excuse me just a moment. I'm throwing the pattern on the floor. I have everything kitted up for both those patterns. Both are going to be on white, which is odd for me because I don't like usually stitching on white. I'm always so afraid I'm going to get it dirty. I have several pieces on white. I have a Vickery collection called Celtic Medallion, and it's a circle, and it's got dragons at the top and at the bottom, but it's one of those pieces that you can hang any way you want because it's a perfect circle. And I was stitching at work because I will take my needlework to work, and I had it on my desk, and I was eating lunch because I stitched during lunch, and I had a can of Coke, and I turned like this to open the Coke because I did not want to open it next to my keyboard or my stitching because I was stitching on white. I turned like this, and I went, and the Coke will sometimes pop out a little bit. I had a drop of Coke go up through the air, come across, and land on the white fabric. And I was like, oh my God, what are the odds of having that drop of Coke go all the way over and do that? So I was appalled. I was like, no. Now I knew since it was all DMC and on white, I was going to be able to wash it. But when it first happened, though, I was like, no, I can't believe this happened. And when I looked at it, I went, oh, that's okay. There's a dragon's head right over that spot of Coke, and I was good to go. The little things, it's the little things. So now I have some haul. Yes, have some haul. I bought another hoop, another 7/8 inch hoop. As I said, I think I've told you before, I love these hoops. They're deep enough that you can actually grasp them. They're not those little thin ones that are, I think they're 3/8 of an inch is what I was told. The 7/8 are so much better, especially if you have problems holding a Q-snap, because I'm getting to the point where I can't hold a Q-snap comfortably in my hand because I've got some arthritis in my hands. So this is awesome. This is great. So I love my 7/8 inch hoops. Then I went to Hobby Lobby and bought some odds and ends the other day to finish my pieces that I had finished. While I was there, I had never seen this before, but this is some floss. It's Murano Carey or Care. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Murano Carey or. And these two colors were rather interesting. And this one says it's rust, and this one says it's spa. I don't know if spa is that color or not, but yes. So I don't know what I'm going to put on these yet, but I thought those were interesting, and they were only $5.99, and it's for a little less than an eighth, because it's 11.5 by 18, not the traditional 13 by 18. So I bought those. And then I also picked up at Hobby Lobby some ribbon, some plaid ribbons for fall stitching. I do have at least one fall stitching piece I need to do. I don't have a lot of fall stitching. I have 2 finished pieces that say fall, that are fall. One says welcome, but it's all fall, and that's a Drawn Thread Designs. And then I have a Blackbird Designs little piece that says big, that's got a pumpkin on it, and I'm working on the Thanksgiving one with the basket, or the wagon, which is Thanksgiving, but I haven't finished those yet. So that's it for my fall. And what gets me is I love fall. I love the colors of fall. Now, I have to admit, I'm a Texas summer girl. People talk about not being out in the heat. I happen to love it when it's 100 degrees. I think it's fantastic. I love going outside when it's 100 degrees. I always tell people it's soaking the evil humors out of my bones. But I don't know. I don't know why I don't have fall. I have some Christmas. I now have patriotic, because before last year I really didn't have any patriotic. But I'm working on it. And it takes me so long to do things that I think that's why I don't have any fall. And this past year, I have been working on smaller pieces, more contained pieces. Of course, I still have huge patterns and stuff going, but I don't know. I just never got into the smaller pieces. Oh, excuse me, my head wants to drip. Then I picked up some free stuff at the table. Our giveaway table at the retreat, patterns that people don't want, they've already stitched, they're not going to do it again, or it's a pattern they bought and then they realize, I don't like this, and they're just going to get rid of it. So I have several things that I picked up. Now this I picked up for my daughter. She's very crafty and she likes to do journals and stuff, so I bought her that. So it's not cross stitch, but it's to do a journal cover. And speaking of my daughter, she tells me that she and my grandson Travis watch. So hello, Travis. Travis is going to be 7 this year, right? I think he's going to be 7. Yes. So hello, Travis. I hope you and your mama are having a good day. And then the next thing I picked up, this I saw Nisi Lynn stitch, and I thought it was cute. So this will be part of my fall stitching. And it's this long pumpkin with a black cat on it. I thought that was very cute. And supposedly there are some specialty stitches in it, but I have not yet pulled it out to see what those are. So we will see. And then I picked up this. This is called Never Let You Go. And it says, somewhere in here, I said what this is. Here we go. I wish I was a little seed. I'd grow and grow and grow. I twine myself around your heart and never let you go. And I just thought that little sentiment was so cute. And I'm not done one of the heartstring samplers patterns. I have a couple of them. I have his eyes on the sparrow, which is huge. But I haven't stitched any of them yet. But there is that one, Never Let You Go. That was on the free table. As I said, all this was from people who didn't want them anymore. And somebody had, back in the day, I don't know if you remember, back in the 80s at least, when I started stitching more full, I guess it was in the 80s when I started stitching, like 1980. The pattern shop, the needlework shops, would have free patterns up on the countertops from various designers. And that's where people get the little prairie schooler cards and stuff like that. That's where we were getting those. Well, Lavender and Lace used to do a free pattern, a free Christmas angel every year for years. In fact, if you go to tiag.com, to toldengarden.com website, you can still download those free patterns. And somebody had put several of them, the cards on the table to give away. And I took them. Even though I have downloaded them, these were already printed and they look better than what I could print. So that's where I took those. Let's see about that. Oh, while I was there, somebody put a whole tube, a 14 count. I think this is fiddler's cloth. I didn't think it was regular It's fiddler's cloth up on the counter to get rid of. And I know a lot of ladies who will go start to stitch on linen will sometimes download all their Aida at the counter. Then this, I stitch online on a Zoom meeting with the designer of this pattern, Rebecca Dory, and she has several patterns, and most of them are out of print because I don't think she's designing anymore. But I saw that one and I said, hey, I know her, so I took that one. It actually had some of the wool in it, and I'm not exactly sure where that goes. I haven't really looked at the pattern yet. You can tell that it's been gently used, so somebody did stitch this. But that is Rhoda Hastings, 1863. So that is a pattern by Rebecca Dory. So I don't know how I'm going to stitch that or just put that in my, ooh, I have this stash. Put that up last. Then this came with the beads, Lady Liberty, and this is by Just Nan. And I like her. I think she's pretty. And I'm thinking I may try and see if I can make her a little, oh, I don't want to say stand up, but we'll see. I'm going to fix her as a little pop-up of some type to put in my table tray on my dining room table for the 4th of July season. Just as a little angel. She's not super big. She is 80 by 37. So, I mean, she is petite, delicate. This was a kit I found. And I don't know if I'm going to stitch this. But my husband likes Native American pieces. And as I said, it's a full kit. So I don't know if I'm going to stitch that or not for him. But I did like him. He's the Hunter. And it's by a Janlin. I haven't even looked at, oh, $19.99. This is an old kit. And it even came with the blue fabric that goes with it. But I don't know if I like that fabric or not. Then because we were at a retreat, we received, and our retreat was flamingo themed. So we got this pattern. And then our lovely retreat leader, she was able to get us a special, let's see if I can show this, yes. She got us a special permission to do this one. It says, be a flamingo in a flock of pigeons. And she had it finished so cute. So that is something I want to do. And I think I even have some opalescent fabric for that. So let me pause you for just a moment because there is something I want you to see. Okay, and I'm back. I have just 2 more things to show you. And then we'll be done for the day because I have to go and take my palm sander to my mother's house because she is painting her bathroom cabinets. And she was going to hand sand them, and I was like, why don't I bring you my palm sander? So that's what we're going to do. This bag, my aunt was going through her closet the other day, and there were still things in there that we never dispersed from when my grandmother passed away. And she passed away in 1992. And so we're talking 29 years. And she was going through some stuff. Because see, I have my grandmother's sewing machine. It's not usable because the electrical cord would kill you because the plastic has come off and is bare wire. But one of the things when I got the sewing machine, I said, where's the button holder? Because I remember this special box that sat on the top of it that was the button holder. It came in a red box and it said something about button or something like that. And she says, I don't know. Haven't seen it. And I was like, oh, great. The button holder's missing. Because I wanted to keep it all together. So she was cleaning out her closet and came across this box full of stuff that still had my grandmother's things in it. And she has moved a couple of times. So I think it was one of those boxes that it was not necessary to the new house. So she just didn't open immediately. Well, she opened it and found all these things from my grandmother. One of the things she found, and I don't know how to do this. I'll show you. And I haven't gone through these, so I don't know what colors or anything. She found bunches of floss. Now, some of this is DMC. In fact, you can tell how old it is because it's got the old DMC wrappers on it. My mother did look through it because I said, ooh, I hope there's a 403 in there, especially if it's old. And she said she would look, but she couldn't find a 403. Shucks. But my grandmother had, here's one. There's other brands in here. And this one is American Thread. And I don't know who made American Thread. I've never heard it. I don't remember ever hearing of American Thread. I know she used to have Anchor and stuff, but there is American Thread in here. It looks just like the DMC, so I don't know what the quality is. But there's quite a bit of it. Most of it's DMC though. But then I love it. She's got things like this. She didn't keep the end with the numbers. It's just the call. It's just the wrap. It's like, well, that's going to help. Yeah. See, here's pink, no number. Now this is the American Thread, but I thought, if I had the number at least, I could match it to a DMC if possible. And see, like, there's one that's got both ends, so I can get a number. But then she's also got things like this. I don't know if that's DMC. I don't know if that's American Threads. So we will see how this works out. But as I said, it was very much a surprise, like an extra gift from my grandmother 29 years after she's passed away. She was a spectacular needlewoman. She had lots of mini strokes before she passed away. But because she crocheted doilies out of the little threads incessantly, she never lost the use of her hands. And in fact, her doctors were always amazed that she had not done that. And that they said with the many strokes that she had, she pretty much should be in a ball. But because she used her hands so much, she never lost that dexterity. And so she was doing doilies continually. And she used to do the iron-on pillowcases. And anybody who got married, she was doing pillowcases and stuff. And in fact, I was given a pair of unfinished ones that she had not started yet, and which my embroidery sucks. So, sorry, that's just the way it is. So I gave it to my mother-in-law, who also could embroider beautifully. And so pillowcases came from my grandmother. My mother-in-law stitched them, and then when my son got married, I gave them to him, and I told him, these are from your great-grandmother and from your grandmother. You know, please don't ever lose them. So we did that. But she was a fantastic needlewoman. She didn't do counter cross stitch. I don't think she would have liked it. She was an embroiderer from the get-go. And it was because of her that I do any needlework. My mother did needlework. She did needlework. They were both seamstresses. And my mother still sews a gazillion. She's into curtains. She changes her curtains seasonally. So she's got stacks of curtains in her house. So, I mean, they both, for the reasons I started stitching. My daughter, who has a young daughter who's only 3, she's 3.5. She's a hellion. I mean, she does not, she comes up with weird little things to do. And my daughter was, how do I get her to slow down? And I told her, I said, you do needlework. You do beautiful needlework. In fact, she is an embroiderer. She is a fantastic embroiderer. And I'm the one who taught her. I don't know how it came about that with my simple teaching, she surpassed me within days. Her satin stitch actually looks like nice satin stitch, and mine does not. I can never get my ends to be in a perfect line like satin stitch is supposed to be. Knowing her, she probably can do a French knot too. Just really kill me. But anyway, I was telling her that when I was a child, that my grandmother and mother would have me sit at their feet on the floor, and they would hand me needle and thread and a little piece of fabric because I was sewing with the big girls. Now, Bronwyn does not necessarily care to embroider anymore. She did it when she was young because I made her. But I told her, maybe you should get something simple and sit there and embroider and tell Jocelyn that this is something big girls do, and maybe she will sit down calmly with her and do it. So, even if she pricks her finger a couple of times and doesn't like it after that, at least she's sitting calmly. And who knows, maybe she will like it, but at this time we're trying to find something to keep her calmer. The last thing I want to show you, and this is going to be a giveaway because I am not doing this. I believe all the parts are here. I looked at it and I'm pretty sure I counted all the parts. It is the Markbek Nativity. Now I know you can't buy the frame anymore, but I'm pretty sure you could have something similarly made. I've also seen it done once as one big piece. Of course, you have to have miles of Aida to do it. As I said, it has the parts in there. I'm going to give this away. All you have to say is Markbek in your message. I'm sorry, I can only do this to United States postage or mailboxes because I don't know how much this would cost to ship overseas because it's not super light because there's so many patterns in there. And then as you can tell, this is the original envelope it came in because it actually has the embossed star emblem on it. And this is tells you that there it is when it's all laid out. So it's all those pieces. And it is just gorgeous. As I said, I have seen it done once. I saw it done on black. That was spectacular because it was just great. But yes, I've seen it done once. And I saw it online once where they did it all in one piece. And what they did was they cut the fabric into a triangle. And then they mounted it on a fireplace stand to have the wrap look. It was just beautiful the way they did it. But yes, I mean, this is the piece. I mean, even if you don't want to do these in pieces, you could turn it into a fireplace stand very easily that way also, if you don't want to have the camel and the little shepherd boy over here. So if you would like this, put Markbek in the comments. You must be over 18 so that I can have your address. Please be a subscriber. Even if you just want this for your collection, that's fine. I will draw somebody's name, but I want to be able to pass this on to someone who actually wants it. I rescued it off the giveaway table because I didn't know what would happen to it if it was not taken and possibly passed on to somebody who actually wants it. But as I said, and Markbek is M-A-R-B-E-K. It's not on the front there. But that's how you spell Markbek. Let me see. Well, it's not in there. This is the outside, but this is the size of a pattern for the shepherds. I mean, excuse me, the kings. That's the wise men page. So that tells you how big this can be. Yes, but it's by Markbek, M-A-R-B-E-K. Just put that in your comments, and we will give that passed out to somebody who wants it. That is. Oh, excuse me. Chekhov has knocked things off. Sorry, Chekhov is throwing things on the floor. He's looking at me like, what? Me? I did have 2 more pickups that I did. This one I've seen, this is copyright 2003, but I've seen a lot of people have it recently on their Flosstubes. This is America by Little House Needleworks. So it says, America, America, God shed his grace on thee. And I'm working on Memorial Day from Hands On Designs, and it says God shed his grace on thee, and I thought this would be a nice complement to the 2 patterns. And then this is an all lavender and lace. I'm going to just pull out the little photo here because the way it's wrapped you can see stuff now. Anyway, this is Angel of Freedom. Angel of Light is her complimentary companion piece. That is finished. That is hanging in my front bedroom. So I do plan on stitching this one. I don't know when, but I want both of them so that they can face each other, because I don't think they're both flying the same direction. But that is Angel of Freedom, and as I said, I have Angel of Light finished. But anyway, that is all of my haul, pickups, and whatever. Please remember, if you want the Markbek pattern, to put Markbek in your comment, and please be a subscriber, and please be over 18 so you can give me your address. Don't say giveaway, don't say free. But anyway, I hope you all have a great day stitching. I'm going to go help my mother sand cabinets now, and y'all have a blessed day. Bye.